So E is 2h squared minus 9 plus h plus 6h plus 9 minus 3 over h minus 3. Factor everywhere, 2h, h plus 3, h minus 3 plus h over h plus 3, h plus 3 plus, sorry, not plus, minus 3 over h minus 3. What's the common denominator? H plus 3, and h minus 3. That's the common denominator to cover everything, right? So I need h plus 3, and h minus 3, right? This guy has plus and minus. What's missing? One of the h plus 3's. This guy has h plus 3, what's missing? H minus 3. This guy has h minus 3, so what's missing? H plus 3. Now, I'm going to make my life easier and write h plus 3. I'm going to write this. H squared plus 6h plus 9. Because that is h plus 3, h minus 3, yeah? Okay. So this becomes 2h squared plus 6h plus h squared minus 3h minus 3h squared plus 18h plus 27. Yes? Now, what do I do with all that giant mess? Same thing we've been doing since the 9th grade. What do we do?
Solve it.
No, you cannot solve this. You can't cancel yet.
Simplify.
Simplify. How do we simplify a thing that looks like that? Collect your like terms. Are there any other h squareds?
Yes.
2h squareds plus 1h squared is 3h squareds. Minus 3h squareds is what? Gone. Are there any other h's? 6h plus negative 3h is 3h plus 18h is what? 21h. So I've got 21h. Now my h's are gone. What's left? 27 over the bottom. H plus 3, h plus 3, h minus 3. What can I do there? Simplify the top, yeah? Now, wait a second. In my work, I had negative 15h. Oh, idiot. 6 minus 3 is 3. Minus 18h. Negative 15h. And it's minus 27. Minus 27. And then, what can I do here? Take out a negative 3, factor, negative 3, h minus, h plus 9, 5h plus 9 over h plus 3. And I just put a squared there because I was running out of space. It's perfectly fine to leave it like that. Again, absolutely nothing new. But look at how time-consuming it is. That's what math is, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, one sec, Lucas. Remember back in the day when they first started airing Big Bang Theory? Back before it became stupid? And they would talk about math and physics all the time? And the bulletin boards in their office or in their apartment had math all over it? You probably didn't watch the show then. Or when you watch any movie set in a math classroom in a university, the boards are filled with equations because that is how much work it takes to do one equation. There aren't any shortcuts. I don't know why you have been taught so many shortcuts. To do math, you must do work. It takes space. It takes time. just like everything in the world. You cannot make a lasagna in 5 minutes. You must take time. So start taking time and start doing work. Lucas.
Why did you take the h plus 3, h plus 3, and h minus 3?
How did I make this?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay. I need a common denominator, so I need to have every single denominator represented. All right? So, just like if I had, 8, 7, and 12, I could have my denominator 8 times 7 times 12, right? That would work, yeah? And then if this was 4, 4 is a bad one because you would make that 1/2. If that was 5, that was 6, and that was 11, right? Then, technically, this guy already has an 8, so it just needs the 7 and the 12. And you could do it that way, all right? Now, you could also, another option is to use the lowest common multiple here, right? Which is, that is 2 squared times 3, that is 1 times 7, that is 2 cubed. So you would have to do 2 cubed times 3 times 7, which is 8 times 3 is 24. 24 times 7 is 8. Carry the 2, 14, 168. You could do everything over 168, which would mean this would have to be, that 5 would have to be multiplied by 56. This would have to be multiplied by 24, and this would have to be multiplied by 13, right? And then you would get 168. Now, the only reason I do this is because it's really hard to find the lowest common multiple when it's polynomials, right? When it's 8, 7, 12, you can do the math to find 168. But you also remember that you could just do 8 times 7 times 12 and still get the right answer. So in this case, rather than factor everything out and try to multiply all these three things together, which would have been h plus 3, h plus 3, h minus 3, I could have multiplied all that together and gotten the crazy polynomial that would be that bottom.
Why did you just do 3 and not like 5, because there is 5, like h plus 3, h minus 3, h plus 3, h plus 3, and h minus 3, and you just took like 3.
Oh, I see. Okay, I understand what you're asking me. You're asking me why I can do this instead of h plus 3, h minus 3, then h plus 3, h plus 3. Yeah, that's what you're asking me. Okay, my mistake, Lucas. I totally didn't understand your question. That's on me. Sorry. For the same reason as this, actually, it ends up being a very similar reason. But I'll make it easy. I'll make it less to see. So if I have 6x plus 3 x squared y, all right? I need, on the bottom here, I need x times x squared y, right? If I multiply them together, I'm good, yeah? This x covers this. So let's add a third here, 2 over xy, right? So now I would put a third one in there, but oh, damn, that's not working either. Trying to explain why this works to you, why I can do that. What's the better way to do this? Okay, this will help. X and x squared. If there's only two of them, right? This is what I need. If there's only two of them, I could put them together, right? And that would be x cubed, yeah? Okay. But this guy already has an x. So the common denominator here is really x squared. That's the lowest common multiple. Are you cool with that? So since this guy's already x squared, I don't have to use him again. I can just multiply this guy by x to get to x squared. Now over here, this guy already they both had the h plus 3, so they don't need to worry about that, right? This guy had h minus 3, this guy had another h plus 3. So these two both need to have just one of each, like over here. It's like the numbers. I could do 8 times 12 times 7, which uses all three, but I don't need 8 and 7 because I can make that small. They have a lower multiple. Better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rena. D. That's okay. Don't give her a hard time. Everybody does that. How many of you have had a math teacher at some point say, do number D? All of you have, right? Because they're math teachers. We talk about numbers all the time. You don't worry about that, Rena. Ayaka is pushing you around. You be nice. I'll get her to give you a Mawashi Gary. That's a roundhouse kick, in case anybody cares. Right in the chin. And because of course, she's Japanese, you obviously have a black belt in karate, right? That's a joke, everyone. That is when you're allowed to say, Mr. Myers. All right. Have you done any karate ever, Rena? Oh, damn. Okay. You have. Well, then don't give her a Mawashi Gary in the face because she knows what she's doing. So she would probably use Jodansky. And then maybe a Jodan. And that would be bad. Because then you'd be like,
If I had a really long stick, I did a Japanese fencing.
Oh, no, you've done kendo?
Yeah.
With the mask and everything and all the armor?
I needed to do that.
Kendo is badass. If you don't know what kendo is, that's when you get a fake stick or a fake sword that's a stick, and the other guy's a fake sword that's a stick, and you beat the piss out of each other because you're both wearing armor. No, it's not like fencing, because fencing doesn't have armor. Fencing has just the outfit and a mask so you don't lose an eye. Kendo is, I'm going to break your legs in half, but you're armored so it won't hurt. Anyways. D. Letter D. Letter D. Factor everything. So this y squared plus y becomes y plus 1, right? Now, this is what we're talking about with Lucas. Y and y plus 1 covers everything, doesn't it? So the whole denominator is going to be y and y plus 1. This guy already has y plus 1, so he only needs y. This guy already has y, so he needs y plus 1. This guy has them both, so he needs nothing. So it becomes 5y minus, and you have to put a bracket here, y plus 1 minus, you have to put a bracket here, y minus 4. Collect your like terms. 5y minus y is 3y. Negative 1 minus 4 is what? Negative 1 minus 4, positive 3 over y plus 1, right? Factor everywhere you can. Take a 3 out of there. Y plus 1 over y plus 1, y plus 1, 3y. Gouda? All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to be aware of the difference between the concepts with which you are dealing here and the actual mechanics of doing the math, right? The concepts are quite easy. They're the same concepts we've been using since fractions in grade 4, right? But the mechanics of the math, while not difficult, are precise is the wrong word. Finicky? You know what I mean? Maybe you people that don't have English as your first language aren't aware of the word finicky, but Pico de gallo? Chickens? Picking up? I don't know. There's a word for it, but the only word I can think is even a worse word in English. It's persnickety, which means really nothing if English isn't your first. All of you that speak English as your first language have never heard the word persnickety. But it is indeed a word. Observe. You're about to see because you learn something new in math class every day.
You don't learn English in math. I know.
Persnickety. Meaning. Placing too much emphasis on trivial or minor details. Fussy. Fussy. That's a good word. This math is very fussy. Yeah? Persnickety. Use it 3 times today and it's yours forever. Next time one of your international advisors is giving you a hard time, you can say, stop being so persnickety. And then they will say, and you can say, I learned a lot of English in math class. No, persnickety is just, it's one of those words. All right. It's a short day, yeah? So I got to look at what's coming up next here and see if it's worth going on or if it's just practice. It's just practice. So you guys start in on, here's what. You guys start working. You guys start working on 134 and 135.
How about 133?
Ayaka.
Sorry, okay.
Let me finish a sentence.
Okay.
Jeez. A figurative Mawashi Gary right in the mouth. While you are practicing 135 and 136, I will put up the right answers to 133 so we don't have to waste time. Yeah? So, what's next in your book? Is it not a page that starts with the word simplify?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, start doing that now.
Oh, so this is the sign.
134, 135. Okay? We won't mark it, ladies and gentlemen. We won't mark it until I've gone over 133. Okay? I just want to shut up for a minute and let you guys do some practicing rather than me just talking at you the whole time. Go.
これも書いといたら分かります。ここを見ればいいんですよ。じゃなくて、ここだけを見ればいい。あ、そうそう、ここだけ見ればいい。だからこの場合は3とマイナス1はダメ。ちゃんと数学用の間違えた問題どうしても分からないので問題集さあ見てていつもの私たちめちゃくちゃ100倍綺麗になるから言ってください。そうそうそうそう。いい加減これは私は数学今回で終わらせたいからさ、まあ、グレード12では絶対取れないから取らんよ。取るわけがないでしょこの数学で嫌いな人。落ちました。りなちゃん、これさ、ここマイナス出したいじゃん。私とあら、ここにプラス、ここにプラスになるのか。そのままで。で、これこのマイナスはここマイナス。ここは青。りなちゃん、ねえ、こうしたじゃん。あれはあれって言われたのかな。マイナス X にX って手がになるじゃん。そう。こうなるの分かる。でマイナス取っちゃう。それ X にマイナスになる。なんで分かる。マイナス X プラス X マイナスサイン。そうすると解きやすいじゃん。だから書いちゃってくれる。絶対に。で 2x プラス1。どうして今の遅かったの？でこれをマイナス 2x プラス1だったのかこれマイナス取っちゃう。マイナス 1になる。マイナスここのマイナスは高っ。それでそしたら普通にやればいいの。そしたら 2x プラス 1x プラス1だよ。ライの x プラス3プラス3で3だから3かな。ここ x プラス3これをマイナス x プラス3やるからこっちは 2x プラス1が足りないからベンっていう。そうそうそう。 ちゃんリナちゃん今さフォトマスセージちょっと確認してみたらこれ見てこうマイナス出してじゃんこれいるっぽい
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if I were you, I would stop on 134, 135, double check because some of these were really hard. Check them out. The answers are highlighted in blue. The screen is blue. Of course, the screen is blue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you will notice the recording light has been flashing. I recorded all of this, but I wasn't talking, obviously. You didn't hear me. So you can see some of the steps. All right? There's the answers. You can check your work. B was quite the hardest up here, I thought. There's the final answer. The thing about B is some of you may have negative x minus 4 as a numerator. That's okay. And this is C to here, not this part. Does anybody want to ask about any of them?
C, please.
C. Which part? So I get my common denominator. It's all 3.
Yeah.
This guy only needed n minus 4. So I did n plus 3 times n minus 4 right there. This guy needed the n plus 2. 6n plus minus 12. And I collected my like terms. N squared right there. Negative 1 plus 6 is 5n. Negative 12 minus 12 is negative 24. Then I factored. And then I noticed I ended up with n minus 3 and n minus 3 on the top and bottom. So I canceled. Okay. Anything else? Now you will notice in A and B, it actually puts the last 2 lessons together, doesn't it? Because not only do you have to know how to add on each side, you have to remember that this line right here means division, which means we change it to multiplying by the reciprocal. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And those answers are there and there. Lucas.
Are we gonna make a quiz today?
A what? A quiz today? Did I say a quiz today?
Yeah.
That was rather foolish of me. I didn't write it on the board. No proof. No evidence.
So tomorrow. Yay.
I could check the recording of yesterday, but that would require me to do my due diligence.
And then we won't have enough time to write the question.
That's true.
So, you are working on page 135, 133, whatever the heck it is. We're marking that
Tomorrow.
whenever the heck we're marking it. Tomorrow, first thing. Do you need to ask about any of these? Quiz tomorrow on all things rational. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing rational expressions. Hint, hint. Those questions do all 4 things in one.
I did there.
Hint, hint. Those of you who are unaware of English idioms, that means expect something like that. Does anybody need an explanation, or can I stop the recording? Are we happy? Everyone's happy? Okay.